Mr. Chairman, I can't hear you. No, I don't. David, can you hear?
Not very well.
Alan, can you hear?
No, sir, not very well.
Hello? You hear me now?
Yes, yes, now we can hear.
That's all they got. Okay, Mr. Harper, I just kind of gave a brief history of you, and can you tell the committee a little something about us, about yourself, and why you
Sure,
want to serve?
sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been serving since 2005. I was born and raised in Vicksburg, went to school at Mississippi State, went off to, left Mississippi, went further school at Virginia Tech, spent about 22 years at the University of Tennessee in a forestry education role, professor, and then moved into administration. I came home in 2005 as the Dean of the College of Forest Resources and the Director of the Forest and Wildlife Research Center. And because of that title, by statute, um, I was on the MFC board, and I've been serving since 2005. And then I retired last year, and they asked me if I'd consider taking and serving out the term of Giles Ward. And I said I'd be happy to do that if the governor wanted to, ask me to step in and serve out. I think it's a couple of years or something like that of Mr. Ward's remaining term. So, in terms of why, I'm here to serve. The governor and anyone wants me to serve. I've been in public service 40 years for my entire career as an educator and as a professor at the University of Tennessee and then at Mississippi State. So I care a lot about obviously the men and women that that work for the Forestry Commission. I know many of them. I understand the structure because of having worked in Mississippi for all these years. So I'd be happy to. I don't know if that's what you wanted, Mr. Chairman, but it gives you a little bit about my background.
Thank you, Ms. Harper, for your past, present, and future services. Does any member have a question to Mr. Harper? If no question, can we get a motion? You heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. I have it. Thank you, Ms. Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You go to work now again.
That's fine. Right now, I think I'm going to go to the baseball game. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Look
Good
forward
luck.
to serving with you guys. Thank you. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
you. Thank you, David Allen. I'll see you again later.
Next, we have Senate nomination 82, Dayton Greenhawk. He's from Columbus, Mississippi. He's been appointed to the Mississippi Forest Commission to represent the 1st Congressional District, term effective immediately for the unexpired portion of a 6-year term, ending June the 3rd, 2024. Mr. Greenhawk, you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be nominated. Thank you. I was a Mississippi resident my whole life. Born in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Moved to Columbus in 1980. Have been in Columbus, Starkville, or Noxubee County for up until the present. Live in Columbus now. Went to school at Mississippi State. Graduated in May of '98 in forestry and wildlife management. Went to work for the Mississippi Forestry Commission in December of '98 and worked there until December of 2005, I believe. Went on the private sector in timber procurement and now own my own consulting and procurement company. I've been affiliated in forestry, like I said, since probably the mid '90s. I'm very passionate about forestry in Mississippi, and having worked inside the Forestry Commission, I'm very familiar with how they operate.
Okay. Mr. Greenhall, you want to tell us a little something about the civil suit was filed in 2017 against you and your company, Greenhall Forest Service?
Yes, sir. Uh, had a gentleman traveling south on Highway 12 in Columbus, headed towards Columbus, rear-ended the back of a log truck coming off of a tract of timber that I had purchased. The gentleman sued the logger, the trucking company, and myself as part of his civil suit. I was later dismissed by the judge in that suit, and I believe the insurance company for the trucking company later settled with the gentleman.
Okay. Any questions from the members? No question. I have a motion. Oh, you heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. I have it. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your service.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next, we have Mr. David Hall of Meridian. He's on that. You hear us, Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. David Hall of Meridian. He was appointed to the Mississippi State Board of Registration for Forestry to represent the Southern Central Forest Commission District. Expired balance. He served an expired balance term of a 5-year term ending June the 30th, 2025. Mr. Hall, I see that you had a suit filed against you, or you filed a suit in 2016 against Greenhawk Company Forest Services. Can you kind of explain about that situation?
Yes, sir. It was actually it was a suit filed by Mr. Clifton Beckman against our company, Hall Tree, as well as Mississippi Power Company, small railroad, and another landowner as well. A neighboring landowner who had caused a lot of problems with access across our property and others to get to another piece of property of his, and he didn't want to reason with anybody, so he just filed suit against everybody around him. And eventually we all settled, went to mediation and settled with an agreement for access to allow all the parties involved the access to each other's property.
Okay, thank you. We have Senator Tate on the line. Senator Tate, you want to say a few words about Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'd just like to say that Mr. Hall has been a great member of the community there in East Mississippi, and never have heard a negative word about him, nothing but good about him and his whole family. And I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. I know there's a lot of speculation about some mistruths that's going on out there. His mother was not a McCon. His mother was not a McCon, so he's okay. So I endorse it.
So glad you could join us.
It's fuzzy on my end, so I don't know what you said, Tyler. But anyway, we still love you.
Well, I guess, one final question to Mr. Hall, and I guess they might determine where he's back in sin or not. Do you know a Kevin Jackson?
Yes, sir, I do. I actually talked to him about an hour ago.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Hall? If not, can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman. Okay. I move we do advise consent.
Okay, thank you. Y'all heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. I have it. Thank you, Ms. Hall, for your service and your future service.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Making a motion to rise in court.